Hello everyone, and let's talk about All by My Elf. This was written by Olivia Dade. This is book number 3 in the Under the Mistletoe collection. Each book written by a different author. They all take place during the Christmas and winter season, holiday season. This is an adult romance, Christmas romance. It does get spicy. The audiobook that was available for this is an Audible original, according to the little yellow flag on it. And it was narrated by Andy Arndt, I'm guessing is how it is said, and it is 1 hour and 28 minutes on standard one-time speed. This particular one was told in third person, and it is set in Virginia. So the two POVs we have are William, who is in his mid-30s, and we have Nina, who is 37 years old, and she is divorced and is plus size. It does make a note of that. There are a couple of mentions throughout the book about her curves being extra soft, things like that. So you do have some plus size representation on this one. So this particular one was 49 pages. Now the ebook version, when you do look this up, it will say that it is longer, but that includes the about the author, additional works by the author, maybe some excerpts from another book from this author, and things like that. So the ebook is longer, but the actual book, All by My Elf, is 49 pages, or at least in the edition that I read, it is 49 pages. So for this one, we are following Nina. She happens to work in a Wienermobile. I keep picturing the Wiener Schnitzel, Oscar Mayer Wiener Schnitzel hot dog mobile type thing. So something similar to that, okay? So this one, I think out of all 5 books, is either the second lowest or the lowest rated out of all of the books. So just be aware of that. But it still had its comedic elements. So for this one, it is... Okay, let me just say this. We're starting out in the Wienermobile. I'm going to call it a Wienermobile. That's how I would refer to it as. Nina is driving this Wienermobile. She has a male coworker who is William, who is in this mobile with her. At times, her best friend is also in there. They work for the same company, so sometimes it's the 3 of them. The women, and sometimes William, deal with harassment from the opposite gender. So for this one, you're having instances where Nina and her best friend will get men grabbing their crotch, saying things like, "Mine's bigger," because it's a wiener. Looks like a penis type of a situation. And so they get a lot of comments about that. Sometimes there is mention of the women trying to show their chest to William in cases, but more often than not, it is the men making comments, grabbing their self, and commenting about that to Nina and her friend. So there's a couple of references to Nina being divorced, and she is crushing on William. She thinks William is attracted to her best friend. There is at one point in the story where it is just Nina and William, and they decide to play a little game because they end up in a traffic accident due to a huge kind of whiteout type winter storm. And in order to conserve energy, they decide to snuggle on the floor in the back of this Wienermobile without wasting gas, because they can't go anywhere. The traffic is completely at a standstill. There is a sexually explicit scene. There is one sexually explicit scene in this, but there are several innuendos throughout this book. And that's the story. It's them in this forced proximity of this winter Wienermobile in a winter storm, stuck in traffic, and they're not going anywhere. That's the story. And again, as I said, Nina is attracted to William. Nina thinks William is attracted to her best friend. They play this never have I ever game, where you hold 10 fingers up, never have I ever, and then whatever it is, to try to get the other person to lower their fingers. So, yeah, and then they have sex. So, it is an adult romance, and that's the story. As far as your content and your trigger warnings, sexually explicit language, sexually explicit scene, and then either representation or content warning, depending on how you refer to it. There's a lot of references to her being divorced, and plus size, so you can say it's maybe self-fat phobia, depending on where you stand on that, and your personal opinion and feelings on that. So it could be a representation. It could be, at times, it could cross the line into fat phobia, self-imposed fat phobia. So just caution on that. So your main trope in this is forced proximity. They are forced to snuggle. So that's the story. As far as outside of that, regarding representation, it will be up to your imagination. So in case you are on the fence with this one, we have the following words. This way you'll know if this is one that you need to pass. We have the following words: dick, 6, penis, 9, boobs, 3, ass, 7, damn, 5, vagina, once, phallus, 3, breasts, 9, shit, 2, horny, once, fuck, 5, nipple, twice, clit, 5, turn on, once, the name Jesus, once, not in religious context, vulva, once, inside, 3, entrance, once, ride, once, grind, twice, wet, once, come, C-O-M-E, twice, seam, once, cock, 3, hard, once, erection, once, tip, once, pump, once, weenie, once, and the word God, once, not in religious context, and piss, once. So there were times like phallus could have come up once, or penis a couple of times, but when it's in reference to like the male genitalia, I did reference it, but when it was in reference to the Wienermobile, I did not. So just some of these could come up just a little bit more, but I wanted to make sure they were used in more of a sexual manner. But I did tally a couple things a little bit more just because it does show up. But there are a few words that will pop up. You will see pop up more. Okay, so as far as the about the author, so again, All by My Elf is written by Olivia Dade. So I actually own a book by this author. I do hope to get to this book in 2025, another book by this author. So it says, Olivia grew up an undeniable nerd, prone to ignoring the world around her as she read any book she could find. Her favorites, though, were always romances. As an adult, she earned an M.A. in American history and worked in a variety of jobs that required the donning of actual pants. Colonial Williamsburg interpreter, high school teacher, academic tutor, and, of course, librarian. Now, however, she has finally achieved her lifelong goal of wearing pajamas all day as a hermit-like writer and enthusiastic hag. She currently lives outside Stockholm with her delightful family and their ever-burgeoning collection of books. So, that is it for All by My Elf by Olivia Dade. Let me know, have you read this one? Have you read any of the other books in the Under the Mistletoe collection? Or have you read anything else by Olivia Dade? Definitely let me know. Talk to me in the comment section below. And until next time, stay true to yourself and enjoy a good book. And I will talk to you later.